Okay, let's take a look at this. So you have this going on. So we can use this. And we can definitely... We probably... So you're grafting it. I don't think we need to flatten it and then graft it. I mean, maybe you need it to, but I don't know. But maybe you need it to for this. Okay. This is more, okay, this is more for the grid, okay. So for right now, I just want to do, I'm just going to do one, okay? Well, I can just disconnect these. So I'm going to do one, okay. So what I need to do here is, what I can do here is, I can do an explode. I don't know if I need to do an explode. And then I'm going to do a join. And there should just be one curve. Although it looks like it is one curve. Alright, so let's try this. So we do get a double. It goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Because there's a start and an end, which is fine. So I'm going to just start drawing. I need the center as well, which is that one. Similar to what I did on the other exercise where I was drawing. So that's the 0 point, you know. So now I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to do a list item. So we want 2 and 3. And 0, which we have. So I'm actually going to do a surface now. Okay. And now I'm going to grab the center of that. Oops. And then from there I want to go to 2 to 3. Trying to figure out the rotation. I get this right. Let's see. And then it's cut in half. Okay, so this is going to take some complex rotation. Okay. Oops. Okay, so we need actually, after we have that, I'm going to just try to do this with one and then do like a mirror, 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 mirror. Okay? So, because it's all acting together. So we basically need a triangle that does that. Right? So we need a midpoint between 2 and 3. So I'm going to do a line. Okay, so that's the line between 2 and 3. And then I can go and get it from curve, point on curve. So now we have that point. And now I'm going to draw another surface based on this one, and that, which is that. Okay. Now I need this to rotate about that, right? And the question is, so there's the right way to do this and the wrong way. So the way I'm doing it now is not maybe 100% right, but I'm going to get it the right way. Guys, this is a good one if you want to pay attention, because I'm going to start doing some basic geometry, but okay, anytime we start doing complex folding, okay, we have to start thinking about geometry. Let's look at this. So this thing is folding here and then folding here. Now we could spend a lot of time figuring out rotation and proper, like, all the rotation, and it should work. But what I'm going to do is use mathematics to make sure things stay the way they should be. So rather than rotating the plane, is I'm going to use like intersection and radius and circles that intersected by lines to drive geometry. For this, it's not that critical, I think, but in other situations it might be. So we have this rotation happening, and I have this thing here that wants to rotate now and close, right? So it wants to rotate along this axis, okay? Well, I'm going to try to create a plane that's representing this position, okay? So we can make, like under vector, we can make a 3-point plane. Plane 3-point. We can even do line point. Let's see. Let's see what options we have. Let's do 3-point for now. Well, I have this point, which I know is this. So that's origin. Then it's looking for B, x direction. So our x direction is actually going to be in this direction. So I'm going to grab an SDL. going to go from there in direction, in this case, Y. And then I'm going to grab endpoints. And I'm going to grab the endpoint and put it in for there. And then C is going to be the midpoint that we found. So there's that plane now. So far so good? So the plane's going to be important potentially. Now we want to rotate about this plane. Because that's a static. And then it's going to rotate. So we need to get a circle on this plane now. That's why we wanted it. So we have that plane. So I'm going to put a circle. And then the radius is going to be the distance from there to there. So we know now that circle is staying there. And now what we're going to do is put a line here and rotate the line. And that way we know for sure as it rotates we can find the intersection along the circle, and we know the length won't change. That guarantees that the length is going to stay the same. So now I want to rotate. I'm going to draw a line from there to there. I mean, I guess we can also just draw a line, but we can do it with the circle. But I'm just going to draw a line there to there. So let's do a line. So that is from center to midpoint. And now we're going to rotate that 3D, or rotate, let's rotate 3D. So we want to rotate that line. The center is that center point. The axis is that axis. And now we're going to get a rad. And we'll put a number slider. Let's do 90. So now when we rotate this, and we want to do negative 90. Okay. And now we can get the endpoint of that. And then we need 1, 2, and then that one. Right? So then we need to just we can draw a surface that rotates, and we can use this one right here, because we don't need that one anymore. And then we just need the number 2. So let's turn this off. Okay, so there's that surface rotating. Okay. Now we want to be able to do this, again, you just want to do it with one, so now we can try a mirror. Let's see what a mirror does. Mirror is always tricky. So if we want to mirror about that center, XZ. Not quite. We're close. It's like our negative 90 is, the rotation is. So let's try YZ. Right, that looks correct, right? Now we want to we really can't mirror. We could do rotation. And we want to rotate about the center. And then our axis will be also the center. And then we want to put them both in. And then we want to make sure our rotation, I think it's both at the center. I think we still need an axis there. I think that center point's not working. Which we have. Let's see. Okay. And now we want a rad, plug that in. Now we can add two numbers. So we need 120, right? 360 divided by 3 is 120. So we need 120. So we're going to set multiple numbers here. 120 and 240, I believe. Okay. Now you can see it only does it because we have two inputs. So, and we have two inputs, but we have 4 objects. So we need to graph the data. So there it is. So if we turn everything off. Oh, not. Oops, sorry, solution on. And let's turn back our okay, so that's 1. Okay. So that's 1. So now we need to basically rotate it about the center of this. Right? So we have this guy. Let's go ahead and grab a center of that. Now we can actually do a polar array. So we got to grab you can also so that's that. We're going to put that in G. So it's asking for the angle. So the plane, our plane is going to be that same plane that we're using, that one. But we need the plane to be the center here. So we need a new plane. So we need a new XZ. Okay. And a number 1, 2, 3, 6. Set that to 6. Now get them all. One thing I haven't showed you guys, what we can do is, if we right click here, so we can get here to a view. And maybe even get to I'm going to set this up. Oops, sorry. Let's turn everything off. We're not done yet. So hold on, let me set. Nope, not that one. Okay. So now what we can do, guys, pay attention, because eventually what we can do is start looking at materials. So we can create a material. Bear with me. And grab a custom, so it's under vector, custom preview. We can put this and actually make shaders. So this is a material. This is looking for color of diffuse, specular, color emission, transparency. So we can come here and say RGB color. It's going to be 0 to 255. And you can mix your own color. Okay. And then we can also add, so transparency is a range from 0 to 1. And then shine. So we can give it a max shine. So we can give it a shine 0 to 100. That's what that does. Gives it like gives it a look. And then if I go to, and we're still not done. This is the. I'll show you guys this first. If we come here and right click, there's animate. And what this does is it renders out a whole thing of frames of your little of your sort of range. Okay. And it gives it a frame count, and then we can browse where to put this. And it basically is making a bunch of images of that. And then ultimately we'll have all the frames. And then we can bring it into like a software like Premiere. Which I don't know if we have Premiere on here. Yes, we do. I don't want Photoshop. So Premiere is where we can compile it and then make a little animation. Okay. And then with these two, we can, like, if you know, not everybody's facades are animated, but we can do it even on a time base. We can run a timer and then say at certain intervals, like trigger and open them, so they open, you know, like as a gradient. So if we, just so you guys see what this looks like. Let's make a new project. Okay, I gotta, hold on, I gotta fix something. Let's delete this. So if we play this now, so we can start to make these little, you know, custom animations of our stuff, especially if there's parameters, which all you guys should have, right? So the next thing is, which I'll leave you with, So if we take this now, and we sort of want to take the array, right? So this is just a way to preview stuff. So we want to take this now and start arraying it to make the full thing, right? So we'll just do a rectangular array. We want to go this is our cell. Well, we don't want to go in the X. This is a problem. This always wants to go in the X and the Y. So we'll do a box array. Yeah, I guess that's right. We want that. We don't want a Z. Well, we're going to leave it. Sorry, not a Z. We don't want a Y. Yeah, we're going to set that to 1. And this sort of curves too, but we'll, that's a whole other scenario. And then our box is basically point double that, right? The height. So it's basically that length times 2. Which we should believe is that line. And then the width is the same, so we'll make a box now. Yeah, that's for points, looking for points. Let's give it a... Well, I think we just make a rectangle. We don't even need a box. I think the rectangle needs to go vertical. Okay, we're almost there. I said that to 4, I guess. No. Okay, that's right in that direction. But we need it to go offset now. I'll let you figure that part out. But what we can do next, alright, so we have all these doing that, right? What we can do next is have these be attracted to what the rotation is based on distance, so it gets like gradient. Okay? So the way I do that is we have all these sort of values. So that's that rotation. Yeah, that might be tricky to do because we have this rotation here. Get this to work. Get the array to work, and then we can get into the trickiness. I mean, maybe for you too is figure out how does it wrap. Okay. Okay, let me